Hello, my name is John McGlynn, and my study investigates the pressing issue of teacher shortages currently impacting the United States education system. The purpose is to provide concrete, actionable recommendations to help attract new educators and retain current ones. The reason this topic is important is that it can provide valuable feedback into strategies that might allow us to resolve the current shortage as quickly as possible, providing the best education experience for both students and teachers alike. The shortage affects school performance, student outcomes, and the sustainability of the teaching profession itself. This research focuses on examining attendance policies' effects on student behavior and gathering insight from education professionals on improving the attractiveness and sustainability of teaching careers. Historically, various strategies have been implemented to combat teacher shortages. School districts have attempted to improve retention through salary adjustments, bonus incentives, and targeted recruitment campaigns, particularly in high-need subjects like special education and STEM fields. Some districts experimented with alternative certification routes and emergency credentials to quickly fill vacancies. Professional development programs were expanded, though often criticized for being ineffective or disconnected from real classroom needs. Teacher evaluation systems have increasingly incorporated standardized test scores and observation protocols, aiming to raise instructional quality but sometimes contributing to teachers' dissatisfaction. Despite these efforts, many remain piecemeal or inadequately resourced, failing to address underlying issues such as workload, compensation equity, and professional respect. Looking beyond the United States, the study noted that several countries face similar shortages have implemented comprehensive systemic reforms. For example, Finland, renowned for its high-quality education system, invests heavily in teacher preparation, offering free graduate education and extensive mentorship during early teaching years. Teaching is a highly respected profession there, with strong societal status and competitive salaries relative to other fields. In Singapore, a focus on continuous professional development, clear career pathways, and strong administrative support has fostered both recruitment and retention. These countries also emphasize teacher autonomy and collaboration, reducing bureaucratic oversight and allowing educators to tailor instruction effectively. The success of these models suggests that multifaceted reforms combining improved compensation, professional support, and societal respect are critical for addressing teacher shortage sustainably. The study uses a convergent mixed method design combining both quantitative and qualitative approaches. The quantitative part employs a one-group pre-test, post-test design to analyze the impact of a newly implemented tardiness policy on student attendance and tardiness rates. Data was collected using a program called Open Architect, which aggregates attendance data for nearly 2,000 students across diverse demographics. The qualitative data came from interviews with 10 education professionals from various roles in the school district: teachers, administrators, counselors, and coaches, providing a broad perspective on challenges and potential improvements in the teaching profession. Interview questions centered around what changes could make teaching more attractive to new educators and more sustainable for current ones. Data analysis for the quantitative side involved comparing attendance and tardiness averages before and after the new policy implementation. For qualitative data, the researcher identified recurring themes and patterns across the interview responses, drawing on the personal experience of those currently working in education. The study acknowledges limitations in internal validity, such as Open Architect's inability to distinguish between excused and unexcused absences, and external validity, noting the findings are most applicable to similar suburban schools facing comparable demographics and teacher shortages. Ethical considerations were strictly observed, including maintaining autonomy and securing data confidentially. Quantitative findings revealed a 38% overall decrease in student tardiness after the new attendance policy was enacted. Younger students benefited the most, with freshmen showing a 75% reduction and sophomores 50%, while upperclassmen showed smaller improvements. This difference is attributed to older students' established habits formed before the policy change. Qualitative interviews yielded 6 major themes regarding improving the teaching profession. First, higher salaries, especially earlier in a teacher's career. All interviewees agreed that low early career pay deters new applicants. They noted that salary negotiations often leave teachers undervalued compared to other public unions. Second, recognition of private school experience. Most respondents felt that years spent teaching in private schools should count towards public school salary steps to encourage movement between sectors. Third, improvement in professional development. While some criticized current PD as ineffective, the majority favored reforming it to be more tailored and meaningful. Ideas included creating dedicated PD coordinators or making professional development voluntary but incentivized by pay raises. Fourth, increased teacher authority and student accountability. Respondents emphasized the need for stronger disciplinary policies and greater respect for teacher authority to maintain order and motivation, especially post-COVID-19. Fifth, reduction of over-scrutinization. Many educators felt overly monitored and evaluated, especially given the increasing demands of working with diverse student populations, leading to burnout. And sixth, elimination of the master's degree requirement. A significant portion of respondents believe the master's degree requirement for teacher licensure creates unnecessary barriers without necessarily improving teaching quality. Next, I synthesized the study's findings and translated them into practical recommendations. The new attendance policy, which reduced tardiness notably among younger students, should be maintained and reinforced with additional support for orientation and follow-up efforts targeting freshmen and sophomores. Teacher evaluation systems should be redesigned to reduce micromanagement. The focus should shift to increasing teacher autonomy through peer evaluations and feedback rather than excessive formal observations. Compensation structures should be reformed to raise salaries during the crucial first 5 years of teaching, paired with eliminating the mandatory master's degree requirement. However, higher degrees can remain optional career advancement pathways supported by incentives like loan forgiveness. Professional development should focus on classroom management and engagement techniques, particularly for diverse student needs, and must be supported by school administration to avoid undermining teacher authority. Increasing student accountability and enforcing school policies are critical to fostering a conducive learning environment that supports both student success and teacher retention. The study concludes that tackling the teacher shortage requires a two-pronged approach. Policies that improve student behavior and attendance to reduce strain on teachers, combined with systemic reforms addressing compensation, professional growth, workload, and workplace culture. Excessive oversight and undervaluing of teachers contribute to burnout and attrition, while meaningful changes can make the profession more attractive and sustainable. The study identifies areas for future exploration, including the attendance policy's effects on graduation rates and overall academic achievement, as well as investigating how earlier exposure to attendance interventions at middle and elementary school levels might compound benefits. In summary, this research offers evidence-based strategies and first-hand insights aimed at reversing teacher shortages by making teaching a more respected, rewarding, and manageable profession, ultimately benefiting schools, students, and communities nationwide.